Good morning, investors. You are now on KleverStock with me, Ainu Jaria, serving you the latest morning bell updates. Kicking it off with the opening bell updates on our local market. Bursa Malaysia opened higher on Wednesday, lifted by improved investor sentiment following the conclusion of the ASEAN summit and in line with overnight gains on Wall Street. At 9:10 a.m., the FPM KLCI rose 3.09 points to 1,616.65 from Tuesday's close of 1,613.56. After opening 1.01 points higher at 1,614.57. Market breadth was positive, with 171 gainers outpacing 144 losers, while 272 counters were unchanged, 2,149 untraded, and 77 suspended. Turnover stood at 178.78 million shares, valued at 94.08 million ringgit. Rakuten Trade Senior Berhad, Vice President of Equity Research, Tong Pat Leng, said strong buying in technology stocks had pushed the Nasdaq to fresh record highs with the Federal Reserve commenced its two-day policy meeting. He added, domestically, we remain optimistic, buoyed by improving market volume, which indicates broader participation. We expect the benchmark index to trend within the 1,610 to 1,620 range today. Among heavyweights, Maybank and CIMB Group added 3 cents each to 9 ringgit and 91 cents and 7 ringgit and 42 cents respectively. Tenaga Nasional gained 2 cents to 13 ringgit and 24 cents. Public Bank rose 1 cent to 4 ringgit and 22 cents. And IHH Healthcare expanded 6 cents to 8 ringgit and 34 cents. On the most active list, TWL Holdings, EA Holdings, and HHRG were unchanged at 2.5 cents, 0.5 cents, and 7.5 cents, respectively. Tanco gained 1 cent to 91.5 cents, while Perak Transit eased half a cent to 39 cents. Top gainers included Nestle, which rose 2 ringgit and 30 cents to 109 ringgit and 40 cents. United Plantations added 24 cents to 24 ringgit and 32 cents. Malayan Cement gained 16 cents to 6 ringgit and 58 cents. Kuala Lumpur Kapong advanced 14 cents to 21 ringgit, and Sam Engineering rose 12 cents to 5 ringgit and 5 cents. Top losers included Petronas Dagangan, down 8 cents to 22 ringgit and 38 cents. Apex Healthcare fell 6 cents to 2 ringgit and 41 cents. Pimpinan Ihsan eased 4 cents to 77.5 cents, while Chithin and KESM Industries shed 3 cents each to 22 ringgit and 21 cents and 3 ringgit and 40 cents. Moving on to local currency update. The ringgit extended its gains on Wednesday, opening higher against US dollar, supported by positive sentiment following the success of the 47th ASEAN Summit and related summits in Kuala Lumpur. At 8 a.m., the ringgit appreciated at 4.1870 or 4.2065 per US dollar from Tuesday's close of 4.1935 or 4.1985. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Dr. Muhammad Afzal Nizam Abdul Rashid said the ASEAN Summit had reinforced regional stability and integration, helping to strengthen market confidence. He said that to some degree helped reduce the market risk premium and contributed to the ringgit's appreciation. Meanwhile, he said the US dollar index eased 0.12% to 98.667 points as the US Federal Reserve was widely expected to deliver a 25 basis point rate cut when the Federal Open Market Committee FOMC concludes its meeting tonight. He added that optimism over a potential trade deal between the United States and China had also improved market sentiment. He said the US Treasury bond yields for the 3-month and 5-year notes fell to 3.73% and 3.63% respectively, from 3.81% and 3.71% at the previous auction. On that note, the ringgit is expected to remain on a firmer footing with the dollar ringgit likely to trade between 4 ringgit and 19 cents and 4 ringgit and 20 cents today. At the opening, the ringgit traded higher against most major currencies. It rose against the British pound to 5.5591 or 5.5850, climbed versus the euro to 4.8804 or 4.9034, and inched up against Japanese yen to 2.7591 or 2.7722. The local note also strengthened against most ASEAN currencies. It improved against the Singapore dollar to 3.2372 or 3.2525, appreciated vis-a-vis the Indonesian rupiah to 252.0 or 253.3, and was marginally higher against the Philippine peso at 7.08 or 7.12. However, the ringgit eased against the Thai baht to 12.9420 or 13.0111. Continuing with more economy updates. Bank Negara Malaysia has agreed to disclose its confidential data on its foreign exchange transaction with the United States Treasury Department. In a statement, the central bank said this is part of its efforts to continue close consultations on macroeconomic and foreign exchange matters with the Treasury. As part of continued collaboration between the Treasury and Bank Negara commits to disclose bilaterally with the Treasury net purchase or sale of foreign exchange in the foreign exchange market on an aggregated basis over a period of 6 months with a 3-month lag. This information shall not be disclosed to other parties without BNM's agreement. The bank added that the United States and Malaysia have reaffirmed their agreement to avoid manipulating exchange rates or the international monetary system to prevent effective balance of payments adjustments or to gain an unfair competitive advantage. In addition, they agreed that any macroprudential or capital flow measures will not target exchange rates for competitive purposes. The agreement under the International Monetary Fund articles also includes other government investment vehicles such as pension funds, investing abroad for risk-adjusted return and diversification purposes, and not targeting the exchange rate for competitive purposes. In cases where intervention in foreign exchange markets may be considered, the central bank said it should be reserved for combating excess volatility and disorderly movements in exchange rates. This tool would be considered appropriate for addressing excessively volatile or disorderly depreciation or appreciation. In this regard, Bank Negara commits to public disclosure of net purchase or sale of foreign exchange in the foreign exchange market on an aggregated basis over a period of 12 months, published in end March and end September every year, and foreign exchange reserve data and forward positions according to the IMF's data template on international reserves and foreign currency liquidity on a monthly basis. Now moving on to corporate news update. Small and mid-cap plantation companies that trade at steep 37 to 49% discounts to average transacted estate prices could be prime privatization targets. This was said by Maybank Investment Bank Berhad or Maybank IB. This comes amid rising merger and acquisition (M&A) activity in the plantation sector, with about 2.06 billion ringgit worth of deals announced so far this year alongside firm crude palm oil prices. Maybank IB expects the momentum to continue into 2026, driven by monetization of prime estates by players such as SD Guthrie Berhad, Genting Plantations Berhad and Kuala Lumpur Kepong Berhad. Maybank IB highlighted Sarawak Oil Palms Berhad and Hap Seng Plantations Holdings Berhad among its preferred candidates, while maintaining SD Guthrie and Sarawak Oil Palms as its top buy calls. The M&A momentum has nearly doubled year on year, following major privatization exercises such as SGV Holdings Berhad and Boasted Plantations Berhad. FGV's privatization in August estimated to cost the Federal Land Development Authority up to 600 million ringgit, lifted total plantation-related deals this year to 2.06 billion ringgit. About 45% of the total value in 2025 was linked to property development purposes. One notable transaction was SD Guthrie's sale of 484 hectares of Malaysia Vision Valley 2.0 land for 573 million ringgit, or 1.6 million ringgit per hectare, about 33 times higher than the average estate land price of 49,100 ringgit per hectare between 2023 and 2025. Regionally, First Resources Ltd's March 2025 acquisition of a 91.2% stake in PT Austindo Nusantara Jaya (TBLK) for 1.47 billion ringgit valued its 48,353 hectares at 45,383 ringgit per hectare on an enterprise value basis. Maybank IB said the motivations behind the sector's M&A and privatization wave include compliance with no deforestation, no peat and no exploitations policies, which have increased demand for brownfield assets and efforts to unlock value from legacy estates. It added that rising cost pressures, labor shortages and undervalued land assets are fueling consolidation as listed planters continue to trade below replacement cost levels. Sarawak Oil Palm's implied enterprise value (EV) stands at about 25,000 ringgit per hectare, while TAH is valued around 36,000 ringgit, both below replacement costs. Maybank IB said Sarawak Oil Palms and Hapseng plantations are supported by a strong balance sheet, making them compelling privatization or takeover prospects. Sarawak Oil Palms currently trades at 25,001 EV per planted hectare, 0.67 times price to book value (PBV) and 7 times the financial year 2026 earnings, with a net cash position of 1 ringgit and 41 cents per share. Hapseng Plantation trades at 32,556 EV per hectare, 0.82 times PBV and 11.6 times of the financial year 2026 consensus earnings, with a net cash of 34 cents per share. Another underappreciated name, Chin Tech Plantations Berhad, trades at 26,387 EV per hectare, 0.96 times PBV and 9 times historical earnings, backed by a net cash balance of 5 ringgit and 27 cents per share. Maybank IB said the combination of undervalued land assets and solid financial positions make these companies stand out candidates amid the sector's ongoing consolidation wave. And finally, wrapping up, we have major corporate developments and deals across Malaysia. SP Setia Berhad has launched an Islamic notes issuance program of up to 3.5 billion ringgit and an Islamic commercial papers program of up to 500 million ringgit with the Securities Commissions Malaysia. Mahsin Group Berhad is looking for new partners to develop its second data center project after exclusive talk to bridge data centers lapsed. Skygate Solutions Berhad unit Skygate Integration Sdn Berhad has entered into a sale and purchase agreement with Ambu Sdn Berhad for the disposal of a factory building in Penang for 39.8 million ringgit. Yes, that Holdings Berhad and YTL Corp Berhad are expanding into New Zealand with major investments in the country's renewable energy and tourism sectors. And last but not least, Peter Labs Holdings Berhad and two disputing substantial shareholders, former Executive Director Dato' Loh Saw Fung and his wife Datin Lin Chin Yin, said their disputes concerning the company and its units have ended. Now that's a wrap for Moneyball Updates with me, Anujarya, on KleverStock. Thank you for choosing us, investors. Stay tuned for the next live, coming soon.